ready to get underway with our first race of the day, and a great start from Eddie. Oh, Patrick Nussbaum stalled it on the line. Unlucky for Patrick, but Fast Eddie, he's got away all right. Still having trouble with that ZX10. Patrick Nussbaum, this is a horror start for him. He got a third place yesterday. So unlucky for Paddy, can't quite get that ZX10 off the line. I think he's gone, he's away now. So there we go, Eddie Kattenberg leads him through the S's. Jean-Louis, well, great start off the second row of the grid. He finds himself in second place. And then there's red and white FZR in there, so that could be the Dean Bentley 511. There's also the 83 of Kieran O'Neill in there as well. Trying to catch the update from here, but it is going to be Eddie Kattenberg on that beautiful Bimota machine, leading them out of turn 5. But Jean-Louis got a better start this time. He's right on the tail, Spider Staples.
Yeah, indeed, I think that was Dean Bentley. Indeed, I think that was Dean Bentley there, but he balked coming out of turn 5 and lost a couple of places. So we've got two battles on the track. We've got the seniors and the juniors. The seniors were basically Formula 1 in the old days, and the juniors were basically Formula 2. So a mixture of 2 strokes and 4 strokes out there. There's some amazing bikes out, beautifully presented, and there's some very seriously talented riders here who don't be fooled by those on old post-classic bike, and they're just out here for a bit of fun. They are, everybody's as keen as each other, and some great people out there. And magic bike out there, number 321, Chris Sales. This is an XR 500, so a single cylinder 500 competing. Okay, he's in the Formula 2 class, but the junior class, but he's competing on the track against big Pre89 GSXR 1100s and the stuff, and the punch he's got, and this is a family-built bike. His father, Peter, has built most of it, and I guess Chris has had some sort of an input, but, mate, it's a weapon. It's great to see the mixture of bikes. We've got a lot of other Formula classes out here where the bikes are all on parity, but this draws it out of it, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that Chris Sales entry, he is sitting in 4th place on the track, which is second in the class. So he is, it was Kieran O'Neill, the 83 machine. That's the first of the junior bikes. He's in 3rd place on track. But Eddie Kattenberg and Jean-Louis, they are both on 1000cc machines, making them the Pre89 senior class. And look at them already stretching out a bit of an advantage. So fantastic racing to see Eddie Kattenberg and Jean-Louis. Then go back to Kieran O'Neill. Chris Sales in there on the Total Motorcycles XR. And then Scotty Finlay and Dean Bentley in there as well. They had a great little battle yesterday in race 1. A 4-way scrap there, so that's going on at the moment. And then John Rawcliffe, all the way from Invercargill, he finds himself in 7th place. Mark McKenzie in 8th, and John Roper there 9th, 10th for Chris Beam. So rounding out the top 10, all sorts of bikes on track and some fantastic racing. And has Jean-Louis got anything for Fast Eddie out there, Spider?
Well, I don't know. I'm looking out at turn 8 there, the big sweeper after the hairpin and that, and Eddie's bike's just that little bit faster, probably a little bit lighter. But he was hunting him well yesterday, and it was a close finish, so Eddie can control this race. I don't think there's any pit boards out there for this class and that sort of thing, but he controlled it. He'll want to win, but the thing is the concentration. But I tell you what, Jean-Louis is now coming on to that long straight. There's only about 15 bike lengths. Now we see the speed differential. That big Bimota, the Italian chassis bike with the Yamaha engine, just gobbles up some track there a little bit faster. So Jan's got to work hard, but this one of the things about Taupo with this very long straight is it can extend the lead with the power of the bikes, but then you rely on the nimbleness, this flip-flop onto the front straight. There's so many places where the smaller bikes or the better handling one or the more aggressive rider can reel it in there, and indeed Jean-Louis, even just into that flip-flop coming onto the front straight, has closed down a bit. 83 there in 3rd place, Kieran O'Neill, the first of our junior bikes, and he's followed by Scotty Finlay and 511 Dean Bentley. Dean Bentley's won races here in the New Zealand Superbike Championship class in the Pro Twins, so he's an adept rider. Scotty Finlay's been around for a long time. I'm not that familiar with the 83 Kieran O'Neill myself, but there's some talented people out there. Patrick Nussbaum now is up to 8th place after sitting there, and it looks like he had enough time to check his phone and his text there after not going, but I don't think he was doing that. But after having that problem on the start-finish line and stalling the bike, he's now reeled himself through to 8th place there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, so the update there with Eddie and Jan out there. So all the hard work done by Jan in the middle of the circuit. Nice and nimble through there, but Eddie Kattenberg just seems to have the legs out of the corners and down the long straight. So Eddie Kattenberg still leads ahead of Jean-Louis, and then go to Kieran O'Neill, who's 3rd place, and he has a 2-second gap back to Scott Finlay, and then go to Dean Bentley. So Chris Sales with that great start has just dropped back into 6th place in the race, but that's 4th in the class. Then you go to John Rawcliffe. He's on an FZR 1000. He is in 7th place. Patrick Nussbaum update, that's a great comeback for him. He's lapping in the 140, so the 3rd fastest man on the track, and he'll be looking to really get some damage control sorted in the senior class. He's only got John Rawcliffe ahead of him, and then the first 2 bikes out there. So he's still 4th in class, but 8th on the track, and see if we can get a big comeback from Patrick Nussbaum as we watch into the flip-flop and down out of turn 14 onto the front straight. Just 0.4 of a second in it, so Jean-Louis really reeling him in now. So watch for Jean-Louis coming through the out of turn 1 and into the S. Is going to look right on the back wheel of Eddie Kattenberg. So there we go. With that battle out there, this is going to be brilliant. This is a 10-lap race, so still 7 laps to go. We're only 3 laps into it, and is Jean-Louis going to be close enough into turn 4? I think he has. I think he's got it in front, but he's gone in a little bit hot and back under the inside, but cuts the line away. So well done to Jean-Louis. He will lead the race out of turn 5, and Eddie Kattenberg is maybe just running out a little bit of steam. Great to see Jean-Louis put the move on. So we've got a change for the lead spider. We've got Jean-Louis now out in front, so we'll see how this one pans out.
So as far as the day progresses, the wind's a little bit lighter along the start-finish straight there, which I don't think will affect too many bikes too much, maybe the Jixer Cup. I'm looking at lap records for this class yesterday. We had 3 lap records set. We had lap records set in the Formula 1, the Formula 2 and the Jixer Cups yesterday. Right now, the quickest man on the track yesterday was a 38.882, and that was Jean-Louis, and now he's at just 0.2 of a second. So that gives you a bit of a heads up on today that I reckon we're going to see a few lap records drop. Nowhere near the lap record of number 47, Glenn Scatchell, in this class. Glenn Scatchell just wiped the floor of everybody when he set that lap record. So right now, I see today as a few more lap records. Got to have a big shout out to my landlord for the weekend, Godfrey Schwartz on Bike 100. Now, landlord for the weekend, yeah, this guy's lent me his trailer just outside the pit so I can sleep it. So I went back and cleaned it up, and I says, can I have my bond back this weekend? But thank you for that. I did pay the $15 each night for the camping. Love camping here. So thanks to my landlord out there on the... He's racing 2 classes. This GSX 750, it looks like an 1100, but it's a 750 in the Post Classics, and he's also racing the Motards, running the number 100. So back onto the track there, Brad. We've got Jean-Louis in the lead.
Yep, Jean-Louis is in the lead out of the S's, so fast Eddie couldn't quite reel him in down the back straight. We got quite close into the flip-flop, but no, it is Jean-Louis still in charge of this one. And then Kieran O'Neill, still the first junior bike home. He's in 3rd place, but look at Scotty Finlay. He's right on the back of him now, so that's a good battle there. It was just 0.3 of a second in that when they crossed the line.
Well, you were looking at that while you were looking at the Superbike, the leads, and the changes position there. Eddie goes up on the inside. Eddie Kattenberg goes up on the inside of turn 7. So you were looking at Formula 1. I was looking at the Formula 2 junior class, and indeed it was Kieran O'Neill on the front going into turn 1, but Scotty Finlay got him, and then in turn 2 it was a change of position that's here. So two battles out there. So we're focusing on each one. So outstanding racing for the first race of the day for the New Zealand, the International Series, the Suzuki International Series 2019, Brad.
Yeah, this is brilliant. So Eddie just ducked back up into turn 6, and then 7 held the line away. So that battle for the lead really heating up there down the back straight at the moment, and it looks like it is still going to be the Bermuda hanging on to it, but there's not much in that battle. And then the battle for the lead in the junior class as well was heating up with Scotty Finlay right over the back of Kieran O'Neill. So here we go into the flip-flop, our race leader, Eddie Kattenberg, with Jean-Louis right tucked in behind him. And then we look for that battle in the junior class, not too far right down the road. They're about to head into the flip-flop. It is still with Kieran O'Neill on FZR 600. And then Scotty Finlay nice and neat and tidy through there, and looking to get a good drive out onto the front straight as we see the lap traffic to contend with the legendary Bob Grover out there as well. Eddie Kattenberg just goes around the outside there. The lappers just hold their line. They did a wonderful job there. And Eddie Kattenberg and Jean-Louis seem to negotiate that pretty well. So there we go, the battle for the lead with 5 laps to go. We're at half race distance, and Eddie Kattenberg retakes the lead of this one, and just sort of stretching out that advantage a little bit. Maybe he's finding a little bit out there on the track at the moment, Spider.
Well, one thing you do, you ride round, you know you've got the advantage somewhere along. You know Jean-Louis, they're both Hawke's Bay boys, they're both mates. You know his tap in there. When he passes, you find out where they're going to do, and it can crank you up a bit. Eddie Kattenberg's been racing for decades. He was round, I can remember picking this guy up off the hairpin in Manfield on the GSX-R 750 when he'd crashed, and he sort of didn't know where he was. So that was Eddie at the time. He had a bang on his head, but he was racing for the Wellington Motorcycle Centre team, so he's got decades of experience there. And great guy to have around the pits as well as most of the people there, pretty much all of them, especially the barman, in my view.
Yeah, he's also our riders rep as well for this weekend. So Awesome guy to have as our riders rep. Gets along with almost everyone in the paddock and all that experience. Well done to Eddie Kattenberg, our riders rep, and leading our post-classic Pre89 race, brought to you by Gilmore Homes and Builders at the moment.
Again, it's interesting to see what goes through their mind. Has he been waiting there, controlling this race and waiting till Jan gets through? Has he got enough up his sleeve? Has Jan learnt yesterday on where his weaknesses and that? Now he's following. This is the best spot to be, following and working out where it is. A lot of people wait to the last lap to surprise people rather than give away their secrets, and it is what it is, you know. That's the lead bikes there coming out of turn 2 here at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park in Taupo, and the battle for 3rd and 4th, which is 1st and 2nd in the juniors, is still hot. We've got Kyron O'Neill there on the 83 machine and 77 Scott Finlay. Interesting to see where the strong points are. Finlay definitely gets out of that turn 1 quicker than Kyron O'Neill and reels them in there. But of course, it's one thing reeling someone in, it's another thing trying to get in there. Jan Louis closes up there into the hairpin, turn 7 over by the, I don't even know what that place is called, the place where those plane things take on and off. Airfield, I think, the windsock. So great racing all the way through. And again, John Rawcliffe there in 7th place with John Roper there, Mark McKenzie, Chris Beams, Tim Kendall, Godfrey Swartz and Bob Grover. Patrick Nussbaum is out. He's out. He's dropped right off the screen, so I didn't see what's happened there, whether he's down on the ground or whether he's had a bike problem. No idea.
Yeah, Mark Hay, a non-starter as well. So Mark Hay has had problems with that bike all weekend. So a non-starter here for Mark Hay. Unfortunate stuff. But trying to catch up with our leaders down the back straight at the moment, and trying to catch a glimpse. There's not much in it, but it still looks to be the bright white Bermuda machine in front of Jean Louis. So we're going to have 3 laps to go when they cross the line. They're coming into the flip-flop at the moment, and all on for young and old. And then we're interesting to see down the second battle for 3rd and 4th in the race, but it's actually 1st and 2nd in the junior class. There's nothing in that one as well. So we're into this one, Spider, and 3 laps to go.
Yeah, great bike out there too. Number 187, John Roper, on an unusual machine. It's a V-twin TR1 or XV1000 Yamaha, and this was a great choice internationally in the Battle of the Twins in some of those classes, but in New Zealand I can't recall anyone racing. The life member Jim Doherty's got a whole collection of these things. Life member of MNZ's got a whole lot of these things, and he's schooled up on them, but it's great to see that 187 bike out. Just something, thinking out of the box, you know, putting something else on the track. Where's that lead there, Brad Ritchie?
So they're coming out of turn 5, just on the run to turn 6. There's lap traffic to contend with, but shouldn't be an issue for these guys. They've been all smooth as all day. Just caught them in the apex, so not the greatest place to catch a lapper, but Fast Eddie just ducks up the inside. There we go, negotiated well, but Jean Louis gets a good drive out of there, right on the back wheel. Scotty Finlay is up into 3rd place in the race, ahead of Kyron O'Neill, so that's a change of position as they cross the line. And then you go to Chris Sales, and Chris Sales, I think that gap's just getting visibly smaller, so the more those two in front of him dice around, the better it is for Chris Sales on that awesome Total Motorcycles XR.
3 laps to go. Don't forget, folks, if you don't know, Ctas is broadcasting this to the world. Text your friends, tell your friends. They're not only broadcasting this weekend, they've got 2 days at Manfield. Make this work for you. You can sit on your computer anywhere in the world and watch and listen to this. You can tune into your own class, and of course that's also got the live timing. If you choose to just look at the live timing rather than the video screen, if you've got something else going on during the day, wonderful to have Grant and his team here. Well, I don't even think he's got a team, it's just he's single solo here, so wonderful to have him here at Taupo. So use that, please, use that lead. What do we got? Is that the white flag? No, we've got 2 laps to go. There's a water bottle on the way, that's good. 2 laps to go here. And this is where it's going to hot up. There's maybe 3 bike leagues between 1st and 2nd, between Eddie Kattenberg on the Bermuda, the Italian chassis bike. Remember when these come out in the World Superbike Championships? The Yamahas were competitive in 88 and 89, but the Bermudas were just that little bit more because they could build the real lightweight chassis that Yamaha could. And they were fuel injected too, which the factory Yamahas weren't. So Jan pulls out of turn 5 and lines up Eddie, but Eddie had the line there, so he had to actually back off there, Brad. I don't know whether you caught that or whether you're looking somewhere else. There's lots to see, isn't there?
Oh, lots to see. I see Kieran O'Neill up into 3rd place again, so the battle in the junior class is still not done for. There's only 0.3 of a second in that gap. They're coming out of turn 5 at the moment as we see into turn 9. The battle for the lead, Eddie Kattenberg, Jean Louis, so that's all on here. Chris Sales, he's just dropped off, so we've lost him. He's down into 7th place now, so hopefully there's no bike problems for Chris there. We'll see how we get on with him. See guys like Godfrey Swartz and Bob Grover, Tim Kendall in there as well, 11th, 12th and 13th respectively, so there we go. So yeah, we've got yeah, that's a good point. John Rawcliffe, the 103, all the way from Invercargill, and normally rides all the way down in Invercargill. He's coming to the North Island. And,
well, there's something wrong with that crew, mate. I was in their pit last night. They were making cups of tea, breaking the end off a Tim Tam, each end of the chocolate bit, and sucking the tea through the Tim Tams. It was like, yeah, it was just, and all of them are dressed like they've been in an op shop, which is not negative. It's just they are so cool to have at the pits, the 103. White flag there. The white flag there. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, white flag out for Eddie Kattenberg. They've got lap traffic as they head out of turn 1, but seems to get through it all right. Jean-Louis dives up the inside of there. So there we go. 1 lap to go. Has Jean-Louis got anything for Eddie Kattenberg on the Vimota? They're lapping in the 138s last time around, so still as fast as they were at the fastest point in the race. Then Kieran O'Neill has only 0.2 of a second over Scotty Finlay. So the battle in the junior class is really heating up as well. Look at Scotty Finlay around the outside of turn 1, not quite going to be able to pull it off. So there we go. The junior class has got 0.2 of a second, and the senior class has got 0.3 of a second in it at the moment. So it's all on here. First and second on track, and third and fourth on track. The 2 big major battles. We've got Dean Bentley's running a lonely race in 5th, and John Rawcliffe there in 6th place. So it's all on here, Spider.
Look at that. I'm looking at the lead 2 bikes, Eddie Kattenberg versus Jean-Louis. Earlier on when I was commentating, I mentioned that Eddie was stronger out of turn 8 and visibly pulled away. Other way around now, so Jean-Louis found something, a different line through there. He's reeling it in, he's closing it in. They've gone up to the top corner, they're out of our sight. This is the lead 2 bikes for the Pre89 senior class, brought to you by the Rutland Arms in Wanganui and Gilmore Homes and Builders, brought to you by those things. Thank you for the sponsor. That there's still Ding Dong coming onto the front straight between Bob Grover and Godfrey Swart. They'll be talking all day long about this in the pits and having a bit of a chat about their ride. But the lead bikes, come on, they've got through the lapper there along that straight. It is Eddie Kattenberg with 4 to 5 bike links. This is critical coming onto the scene. Jan takes a wide line coming out there. Has he got the drive? No, it is Eddie Kattenberg that takes the second checkered flag for the weekend for him. Jean-Louis in second. We're followed by a lapper there. Where is this Formula 2 junior battle? It's coming along this long straight. Brad, I'll let you take this to the line.
Yeah, it is still Kieran O'Neill leading him into the flip-flop. Scotty Finlay going to pull right up on the back wheel of him. Round 13, round 14. Is it going to be a good enough drive out of there? Kieran O'Neill looks to have done enough. So Kieran O'Neill, the number 83 machine on the FZR 600, he will take the winner of the junior class, 3rd place in the race. Scotty Finlay ends up finishing just under half a second behind him. So a great race. They were hammer and tongs for all 10 laps. But there it is, Kieran O'Neill taking 3rd with Scotty Finlay down in 4th. We've got Dean Bentley. He's still coming round. He's coming.
No, he's had an overshoot. Dean Bentley's having an overshoot at the end of the front straight, a long straight there.
Oh, look, we have too. We've got Dean Bentley.
Don't know that he's lost some time there, Brad. No, we've got eyes in this commentary box, but there was 15 to 20 bikes on the track. They're everywhere, so I noticed that while Brad was looking at the timing. So good man, Brad, bringing that in there. Dean Bentley coming through in 5:11.
Yeah, so there we go. There's your podiums. We'll try and do 2 podiums. We'll send Neil down there to do the podium updates. But Eddie Kattenberg, Jean-Louis, and then John Rawcliffe will be 3rd place in the senior class. And we've got Kieran O'Neill, Scotty Finlay, and Dean Bentley hanging on for 3rd place in the junior class.
And he didn't lose anything with that thing. He'll be a bit unsettled. Maybe his underpants will be a bit stretched out for the time. But we're joined by Neil Ritchie. Today. He was at another commitment yesterday. Of course, motorcycle, that's all there is to his life pretty much. We're joined by him. So he'll be doing the interviews down the bottom. We will be limited to whether those junior people do recognise where they fitted and are coming in to get their interviews. We're doing our best, folks. Definitely the top 3 will be pulled in there. If they pull in, we will interview them and have a bit of a chat, Neil Ritchie. So there's Bob Grover, still held off number 100, Godfrey Swartz. No Chris Sales, no Patrick Narsbaum. They had DNFs at the lap 7 and lap 4 of the 9-lap post-classic race, brought to you by Gilmore Homes and Builders, Rutland Arms, and also Powerco.